Good day everyone. So for this video, we will be having a quick tour with the tool that we are going to use to build applications or mobile applications applying the concept of artificial intelligence. So this tour allows you to be familiarized with the user interface of App Inventor. So what you just need will be a laptop or a computer and an internet connectivity. So let's start the tour. Okay, so in order for us to do that, okay, we'll need to have a web browser. So whatever web browser installed in your PCs, so you can use that. You can have your, if you are using Mac, you use Safari. If you're using Windows, you can use Google Chrome or Avast Safe Browser or just the Microsoft Edge if you don't have any web browser installed to your PC. Okay, so let's start by opening our web browser. Okay, so what I'm using here is an Avast web browser. So let's type in Google to search for the App Inventor 2. Okay, so we just have to search here App Inventor 2. Okay, and then it will automatically direct you to the appinventor.mit.edu. So click App Inventor 2. All right. So it will lead you to this web page. So it's here. You can see a big button to create app. Okay. Once you click here, once you click this button, you are going to be directed to the App Inventor development page. But before that, you need to have an account first in order for you to use the tool. Okay, so all of you, since all of you may be having or may have already a Gmail account, okay, or an email account, okay, you can use that to log in to the App Inventor. So let's click Create App, and that will direct you to the login. Okay, let's wait for it. So by the way, the MIT App Inventor is an intuitive visual programming environment that allows everyone to build fully functional applications for smartphones and tablets. So it is a block-based tool, okay, that facilitates creation of complex, high-impact apps. So this is a tool now applying already the concepts of event-driven programming, object-oriented programming. So it's a block-based programming. App Inventor is a free cloud-based service that allows us again to make our own mobile applications. So let me use my Google account to log in. Okay. So once you gain access to the development page, no, you will be directed to the App Inventor designer interface, where you can see, of course, here the different palettes, okay, the components that you are going to add with in your mobile application or in your application. So it's quite similar because if you have experience with Visual Basic Programming or Visual Studio Programming, no, you just have to drag and drop um, the tools or the commands or the controls to the what do you call this, to the viewer. Okay. So with Java, if you have experienced applet, uh, it's quite the same. Okay. So before that, okay, you have a lot of what do you call it, navigation keys or commands here. So I already have a lot of projects na nagawa using App Inventor. These are just actually based on the resources available in App Inventor. So what we are using here will be the resources provided by the App Inventor. Okay, so let's try to create a new project. So by creating a new project, you just have to click here, new project. So just to show you an empty project. So this is demo. So let's try to open demo. Annotation. So it shows here the App Inventor Designer page where you can see here the palettes. Okay, you can either you can see here the controls. No, under user interface, you can see here the controls which you can use in building your apps. Okay, also have here layouts. Okay, and some of the media which you are going to, of course, utilize as you build applications in App Inventor. Have here sensors, maps, drawing and animation. Okay, extension if you have to import tools to be utilized in your application, just like for example the extension look extension of the App Inventor, which you are going to use in creating a application to classify an object. Okay, you see here the viewer. So in the viewer you can see there, okay, it is where you will drag the components that you are going to use or to include in your mobile application. Okay, you also have here, okay, so as default we are in the designer page. Okay, designer mode where we are able to include components. Like for example, if you want to add buttons, okay, you just have to drag and drop, okay, and change the properties of that specific control. That depends on how would you like it to be designed. Okay, so here's our properties. Okay, each of the controls that you are going to include, or each of the components that you are going to include in your app, no, of course it will have its own properties. Okay, just like in your Visual Basic, that you are to change some of the properties of a certain control. Okay, for what do you call this, to make your user interface quite good to see, or quite good to look at. Okay, so in order for us to code, okay, let me erase first this one. Okay, in order for us to code, we just go to the, we just have to click here the block button, okay, and it will already direct us to, of course, our code window. Okay, so there are built-in blocks, okay, included in a built-in drawer where you can find blocks for general behaviors which you want to add to your app, and you just have to drag and drop the blocks. Okay, so you have here control, you have logic, okay, math, text, list, and some of variables and procedures. And of course, if you have experience event-driven programming in Java, okay, each of what do you call this? Each of the components that you included in the, what do you call this, in your UI or in your interface, no, there are events that can be done there. Okay, lost focus. Okay, click. Okay, so these are all the properties blocks that you can use for a specific control. Okay, so here's our viewer. It is where we are going to build the code. For example, we want to display, let's get back to the designer, and let's try to include a label. So let's change this, like this as label. Okay. So what we are going to do is when we click the button, no, it will speak up the text written in the label. So for example, hello app Inventor. But before that, we are going to use the text-to-speech control. Let's go to block and click button. So when we click button 1, we do, okay, we want to speak out the text in the label. So, and then we click the label and we get the text of the label by getting the text. Okay, you just have to drag and drop. That easy. Then you can already we call this test your app. Okay, leading us to the different ways to test your app. Okay, there are actually 3 ways. Okay, you can use emulator. You can also use USB, and the easiest way is the AI companion. Okay, so in AI companion, you just have to install the application AI companion in your mobile application, or in your smartphone, I should say, and you just have to connect it by scanning a QR generated, or yeah, generated by AI or the app inventor. Okay, so you just have to scan this in your mobile application, in your app companion. So emulator, you just have to set it up first. Okay, which will take long. Okay, and you have to connect it with the USB. Okay, this is not recommended, so you just have to have your AI companion, okay, to test the app. So that is all for the tour. If you want to build the app, you just have to go to the build key drop down button and then click app, which um, allows you to have two options, which an app, you build an app to provide a QR code for the Android package, and if you want to save it to your computer. Okay, so there's a lot of things to explore in App Inventor, and this is the tool that we are going to use in this course. Okay,